Welcome back to the ECS Season 2 finals, live from the Anaheim Convention Center Arena. Of course, we'll have the arena open to the general public tomorrow. Today, of course, we're getting through the group stages. We've had a little bit of a change here on the panel. Welcome to Tommy. How you doing?
Good.
You're good? You enjoy the man of the match performance by Allu in the last game?
Yeah, no, I mean,
Bit of Finnish pride?
No, he told me before the game when I talked to him, they'd get 10 rounds first half.
See?
He wasn't as happy.
Yeah, no, we heard.
He thought the second half wouldn't go that well, but...
Yeah, I want him to do my lottery numbers this week. That's all right as well. Can you ask him?
Yeah, sure. I can make that happen.
Okay, because I think he's pretty close. I think he might actually win some money on it.
Well, it depends if he used up his luck already.
Right, of course. Yeah, well, let's hope not, because it's only the first game of the day. Just generally, before we get into this second set of games, what did you make of the opening two?
Well, I mean, I thought
pretty much the form.
I thought Astralis was going to win the first game. I thought that they were the more likely team to adjust well from the E-League final. And as for FaZe Cloud9, I thought that was a coin flip. Those two teams have played with the previous iterations of the roster a couple times. They've played an OT game in Oakland, and they've just been very evenly matched.
Okay, let's bring you up to date with the updated results. Don't forget, of course, you can check out all of the results, latest news and updates at csgoleague.com. We are in Group A right now, if you've just joined us. We've had our opening two matches of the day, both best of ones, of course, which now leaves us into the winners bracket final in Group A, which we'll focus on next up. FaZe versus Astralis, Robin. When you look at this is very intriguing, because we've got Mr. Karrigan in there, who now gets to play his old team, knowing all their tricks and everything that they're up to, and gets to kind of one over on them, possibly.
This is a very, very tough matchup for Astralis. It's more so, it's going to be a little bit easier for FaZe, because the only thing that Astralis would know would be Karrigan's tendencies of what he likes to do, right? They don't necessarily know what the players like to do.
Sure.
Whereas for Karrigan, he knows 4 of these players' tendencies. He knows what they like to do. He knows the positioning. He knows all of that. So depending on how much work Glaive has actually put into this, it's going to come down to basically who has the better game. You know, it's not going to come down to who has the better tactics.
You don't think so?
I don't necessarily think so. I think that Astralis by far are going to have the better tactics.
Okay, let me ask Tommy this. Do you think, Tommy, that Karrigan can get inside Astralis' head by a little bit of mind games here, knowing that he knows what they know and they know what he, or they think they know what he knows?
Five levels deep. Yeah. I think he can do some of that for sure. It all depends on how much Glaive has changed everything. I think he has done a lot of new things for them, but obviously there's certain things the players like to do. They like to go for some peaks, they like to play certain angles. That kind of stuff is going to help. One thing that I think is going to be interesting, or would be interesting to know rather, is how much Robin actually does for FaZe in terms of calling, because this is a game where you could actually really benefit from a second opinion, just like mixing it up a little bit.
I don't necessarily think he does that much, especially now. I mean, Rob, he used to call a lot before, because we saw there when Robin wasn't attending the events with FaZe, they had no caller, right? Like Robin was entered into the lineup because they needed a caller. Yeah. I think now with the addition of Karrigan, I think that Robin probably comes with some ideas and like, oh, actually, I don't think that this works, blah blah blah. But I'm gonna leave it most of it to you. Yeah. But yeah, I definitely agree with that. I think Robin can do a whole lot here. Whereas for Karrigan as well, it's like, I think Glaive has changed their game quite a bit, but he's not going to be going to each player on each map and be like, oh, your positioning used to be here, you're not going to be standing here anymore. Or like, okay, you're easy to read here, this is going to have to change. There's no time. I mean, it's 6 weeks with the two lineups. The at most what he would have changed was like just set tactics, executes maybe how to play 2-on-X after plants and whatnot. So I think that Karrigan does have like a somewhat of an in here.
I actually think that Astralis would hurt more than gain from switching up too much for this game too, because I mean it's not a very experienced lineup, like you said. It's not that long since Glaive joined, so they have their own comfort zones. You know, they have a couple of things that they've gotten really good at that gotten them those top 4s, the final place in E-League. But now, if all of a sudden you say no, actually don't go for that peak, Karrigan knows that. You don't play that spot this round. All of a sudden you end up players doing things that they're actually not comfortable doing at all, and that could actually backfire. So it's one of those things that's actually really hard to balance sometimes, and that's why you see those quote-unquote random results in domestic matchups, because you have to think that way when you play against your friends.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. That's why I think that this map is going to be very even. It's going to be like down to, like I said, I don't think it's going to be down to tactics. I think it's going to be down to, like Tom was saying, it's like you don't want to change too much, even though you might think, or like, because it's going to get to you. It's like, oh, Karrigan knows how I play. Oh, I can't play like this. I'm going to have to change something else.
You've been in this situation where you've played other teams. Isn't there a tendency in your brain when you're in the game to say, crap, he knows I'm going to be holding this angle right? maybe I should hold a different angle, and then you go off and do your own thing anyway.
No,
isn't that a tendency that happens?
The tendencies that tend to happen is that, okay, they know that I like to play this position, let's switch it up. I'm going to go aggressive this round, like, or do something that I would not be, that I would not be known for doing, or like I've never done that before. I'll try something new, and then maybe I can go back to how I used to play. But just so you switch it up a little bit, because if they know completely what you're doing, he knows. Okay, I don't have to waste a flash in the beginning. But surely,
Robin, if all 5 start doing that, then suddenly they're all playing differently. Yeah, and they're not playing the way they know how to play.
That's what I'm saying. It's going to be. That's what I'm saying. It's going to be fine tuning in terms of like change up a little bit. You don't have to do a lot. Yeah. Especially now with Glaive, I think that's why I'm saying for Astralis, they should just focus on what Glaive is doing, what he's calling in terms of executes and stuff. For seat side, yeah, maybe you want to do something a little bit odd depending on the map, right? For FaZe, like I said, the only thing that Astralis would know is karrigan's tendencies of what he likes to do late in the round, or like if he likes to call fast plays, right? Okay. Other than that, it's 4 players that they played before but never played with before, right? So I think that this matchup is very interesting.
Yeah, very interesting. Veto's coming in thick and fast. We've had 4 already. Tommy, thoughts on map choice here?
Well, Astralis continued to veto Cash first. FaZe, obviously, they don't play Cobble.
It's a free veto for Astralis, basically.
Yeah, no, exactly. I mean, that's a big advantage considering their poor history on Cobble. We're all familiar with that. Unfortunately, they still sometimes try to play it, but I hope that they start playing Cash eventually when they get more time to practice with Glaive to see what actually comes out of these maps. So it's going to be either
Overpass or Dust 2?
Dust 2 or Overpass. This is a tough call. Oh, they went for Dust 2. I thought that they would go for Dust 2 because I spoke to Allu a week or so ago, and he said they actually feel very comfortable in Dust 2. Because I was asking, because they hadn't actually played Dust 2 before E-League. They hadn't played it once with the new roster, but he said they basically want to play it. It's like that funny clip on Reddit. Allu saying, you want to veto Dust 2? I'm not kidding.
Yeah.
He said, I'm not kidding, actually, for some reason.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. It's actually, it's a really good map for FaZe though, with the lineup that they have, because they do have very talented people, and
they have D2 players.
Exactly.
And before karrigan
side players,
it's seat side players specifically, and that's really good coming into a team like Astralis now with the addition of Glaive. And it's one of these maps is like what you play on the seat side. It's that's why Dust 2 has always been very balanced, because it's the way it's been played has not really changed that much. Where it's like it's going to give even more of an in for karrigan. In terms of it's like, okay, we know the device is going to be running around CT side, it's going to go and take a big B, mid, long, cat, you name it, right? Just play defensive at the beginning of the round, wait for device to show up, then you make your move, you take some control, and then you execute from that, right?
So I'd love to get more from you, but I'm hearing that the players are ready to rock and rumble, so we are going to head over to our commentary team for game number 3 in Group A. This one is for a place in the semi-finals. Is it going to be Astralis or FaZe? Let's find out with Dan and James.
All right, so it's time. It's time for Counter-Strike, James. It's the best moment. We have a good map between these two teams. Again, we saw Dust 2 earlier today. We obviously saw the strength of Astralis on this map, and with karrigan going in there, we can see that everyone from FaZe is like really hitting their shots. They're really getting their kind of individual skills going. They're coming into this one hot as well. They didn't have a break like Astralis did, so it's very impossible who to favor on this one. But I would personally go with the Danes again. It's been hard for you to call every time, but I've just nailed it each and every time. So,
maybe. Well, we'll see. You've got one more to have successful. So we'll see how that works out. I'm not going to make any predictions. I'm just going to wait and see what happens. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Should be fun. It's going to be our last match of the day, and then Henry and Matt will be taking over with the final 3 matches of the evening. So that should be very good indeed. So Astralis versus FaZe. Will there be, I don't know if you want to call it revenge for karrigan. I don't think it's as bad as, oh, that's a bad miss. That's a very bad miss.
Yeah,
I've never seen anybody do that. Anyway, Glaive is having some action towards long. He's got a number of players, all 5 in fact, making their way into the long area. But what will they do with it? Device is on the short position. Will he move forward though? That's the question. So far so good for Glaive. He's got the range on the other players as well. He'll get headshot though.
Yeah, he's got teammates to play with now as well, so he will be trying to continue to delay, but with only 12 HP, it starts to get a little bit risky. Obviously, he is playing the headshot angle there, so good job from Glaive, did all he could. But will one pick off be enough? FaZe put the bomb down, and now the time is ticking. Astralis with a boost there onto Elevator, or actually not even onto Elevator itself, but a bit further away. Very cool stuff. We saw that previously from them. And now it returns. Cracks going the way of FaZe, but quick trades come in to give Astralis an advantage. But can they get to the bomb in time? It's just karrigan left. He needs to delay them. Is there a kill on any of these players? I don't think that there is. They have to just defuse this straight away. And thanks to dupreeh, that will be no problem. And they have got it in the bag.
Nice.
Looked risky for a moment, or rather looked a little bit dodgy for a moment, but they did get there in the end.
So far, so good. Nice start for Astralis. At best of one. You have to wonder if there are any nerves here, if people are looking to avoid embarrassment, obviously with karrigan leaving the team. But really, I don't think it's that that kind of scenario for either of these teams, because the change appears to be good for both sides. Obviously, like when Peter left CLG, for example, there's a lot of revenge to be had in that situation. But I don't really think that's the case here. FaZe Clan with a forced buy. We've got 3 players with utility, and maybe Astralis won't wait for them to execute their plan. Device needs to move quickly though, because the entire FaZe Clan are over towards the B bomb site, looking for a split perhaps.
Out through the double doors they go with those Tech 9s. Kjærbye's got a good angle though to spot out where they're going to come from, and into Zipex they go. It always feels like you see the T's kind of fall into this this bait, whereby one player shows either on the doors or either on the window for initial contact, and then the man on the box is hidden, but strikes upon the distraction to claim many kills. And that was the simple one for Astralis, and now all they have to worry about is just Glocks mostly, well, and P250s, and no Kevlar, no grenades. And dupreeh, he wants to take the fight straight to FaZe and pick himself up some early cash.
Not much doing here for him. I do wonder if he'll just stand his ground the entire time, or eventually back off. Indeed, karrigan will be the first to engage. No armor on these players. Nice support, explosive grenade, and dupreeh will make his way back. So early advantages for Astralis, and indeed, the round should be a formality. The bomb's in suicide as well, and it will be suicide to try and retrieve it.
It's actually hilarious how Astralis, all 5 of them are almost in T-spawn at the end of this round. That's awesome. So AKs are out, and the AWP is out onto Device. So they'll hold on to a couple UMPs, which is nice, as their economy will really benefit massively if they're able to win this round. And Device, he was peeking middle very aggressively a lot of the time on the CT side with the AWP in our previous Dust 2. I doubt he's going to do that against allu,
who uses his spawn towards long, unable to get a kill, but karrigan's spray will follow up, and that's in-game leader onto in-game leader. Device with a nice angle over towards short, but no kills for him. Zipex taking down karrigan in the meantime, so maybe Long is back in the possession of the CTs. The bomb's fallen down! That's what happens when you're too close to the rail. The bomb could fall down in CT spawn, and then maybe the round is over for you. We'll see what Rain can do. Zipex will take him down, leaving allu alone.
That bomb down is like the GG moment. It's just like, well, this is fun.
Take note, people at home. That is why, if you're carrying the bomb, you do not run along the rail, because if you get picked off, that bomb is going to go flying. allu's AWP will go flying as well. Astralis had the option to pick up a second one, but they won't want to do that right now. Not always ideal against an eco slash half buy as well.
It's going to be quite cool to see what Device actually does do in this game with the AWP, because now that you have a good start in the economy, assuming nothing bad happens here, you got again. Ooh, there it is. Scout comes in, headshots found. The aggressions are not working for Astralis. Kjærbye will claim Device's AWP, but this is already too much damage for a round like this.
Yep. Charging into the hands of the T's on the anti-eco round. I mean, in fairness, it's quite unlucky. Rain with the headshot with the scout, the 1-dig from kioShiMa as well, just popped out and 1-digged him instantly. Nice stuff from them. But FaZe have not managed to get much in terms of weaponry from these kills. Obviously, Device was in CT spawn pretty much. Just 2 deagles and a scout continue for FaZe. There goes the scout as well. So it seems Astralis are in a good position to prevail. FaZe Clan heading towards maximum loss bonus, which would explain the investment in that scout in the first place.
Yeah, and honestly, Astralis is still... I still wouldn't say it's necessarily okay for them. to lose even 2 players. If it gets worse, that's going to suck, and it will. aizy finds himself a headshot. Sad times here for Astralis, losing so much. And FaZe, they're going to be coming in with a strong buy in the following round. We'll have to see how much this has actually impacted Astralis' economy. But it's just, having a lot of bank, like obscene amounts of bank, right at the start for your CT side, allows so much aggression on a map where to take those aggressions, you need a good economy. And I've seen some great stuff from Device on catwalk aggressions and so on, and to enable him to do that would be great. So let's see if that's going to be the case. AWP out for allu. This could be dangerous.
Device notorious for his positions towards shorts. It's more of a passive angle to the ones he normally takes, but likes to abuse this smoke as well once it goes down. Very unfavorable situation for T's moving along that short position. So we'll see what FaZe choose to do. They will know Device's antics as well.
That's a really good point, actually, because he is quite, I hesitate to say highly predictable, but you do know where he's going to be playing that AWP most likely. Catwalk he's so good at catwalk pressure with the AWP, and he has actually been pressured back a little bit now finally, but he's still here around catwalk.
Xyp9x was lucky not to get picked off by allu, having a look through the middle doors. Very lucky indeed. 59 seconds. FaZe with the bomb in lower tunnel. Have no presence towards short just yet. You can see Devices move back to the site now. Glaive down on long on his own. And FaZe may try to keep 3 of the 5 players over towards A with some presence, as it looks like B is very likely now.
Yeah, no openers. B is the plan. The setup here is actually quite good for Astralis, but the rotation is going to be long. So one of the biggest objectives here for the defenders on the B-bomb side is, even if they die, they need to kill as much time as possible to allow rotation. And Astralis still don't know about the push that's coming in. So this is a big problem. And that was a great work from FaZe to basically hide the play by having presence towards A, but this is great delay from Astralis.
It is indeed. The Shadow will expose one of the FaZe players, and this is still to the advantage of the CT side. Only 7 seconds left, and there won't be time to plant the bomb. So Device being over towards CT spawn can save the round regardless for Astralis, just by him being alive. And one very important thing to note in there is that with 35 seconds left on the clock, Astralis had 1 smoke that they used towards the B-bomb site, which completely ruined the timing of FaZe. And then they were forced to push through the smoke and ran straight into a pop flash as well. So, and that's one thing that has been very strong for Astralis across all maps, is holding on to their utility on their CT sides for as long as possible.
Yeah, nice pop flash for Glaive there. And it actually, in fact, did flash the hell out of Glaive. He was looking straight into it. But looks like Astralis this time around, they're usually quite good at forcing their opponents off of long and preventing them from getting through the choke points, but this time that's not the case. Device there in middle finds allu. He's got support. Kjærbye's below him, so we could see a lot of action towards this position, depending on what happens with allu here. Allu catches Device, though. What does Kjærbye decide to do in this position? Does he just hold, or does he try to creep forwards? I mean, it would be quite unsuspecting, I think, for FaZe to realize to see him there.
Oh, Glaive's gone straight past Rain in the smoke. Rain didn't see the leg from the back. That is a disaster. That's what they needed to hold on to. Xyp9x putting in great work, doing some damage as well. As long was lost earlier, Glaive stopping the flank from allu. That's an AWP on shot. That's a big problem for FaZe moving forward. The bomb's in an exposed position as well. aizy with less than 10 HP is in trouble. kioShiMa managing to get the bomb. But they don't have long or short. This does not bode well for FaZe.
No, this is going to be a tough one to hold on to. The only way out of this is to hit the shots. Don't have much else to work with. It's going to be dupreeh that picks up the first shot. aizy with no HP. aizy's good, but he's not that good. Not this time. Astralis to pick up the round. And you do have to... I mean, FaZe, they took long straight away. The classic reaction we saw was actually... Well, there's 2 classic reactions from the CTs. They fight to try to keep long away from you and trade as best they can, or they give it up, and if they give it up, they have to go to catwalk. So it is definitely very unlucky for FaZe when they push catwalk not to find that frag on Glaive. That Glaive was able to actually push through the smoke there just at the right timing and find a couple opponents. That was a big round from Glaive in that sense.
Tactical timeout from FaZe. 7-0. Rain and aizy, very unlike them. They've got 1 kill each. kioShiMa and allu, 2 kills each. They're simply not killing people.
one of the interesting things actually is that, and you can see that from the long take, one of the reasons why I like the long take decision from FaZe is because they've been struggling against Astralis to actually open up the round with any picks. And this was something that Astralis were very good at doing in their previous match today with dupreeh. dupreeh was finding picks on B, on long, just right at the start of rounds. And this is something that FaZe have not been able to do. And then they get into this position where they're kind of just forced to go for it. And we saw that with the B round where they just had to rush through B at a very late timing. And so they just need to be able to fix their early rounds and give themselves more opportunities. But Astralis have been playing great at denying those.
5 AKs coming out for the FaZe clan. Lots of grenades as well, but no AWP. And that's the problem. Allu, still early days, but he hasn't been doing terrible with it. Not much to say really as to anyone's performance on FaZe, as most people have 1 or 2 kills, literally.
Yeah, I mean, I would like to see from them, as they're struggling so much, having so many issues in the opener, like getting the opening kill from pick-based play against Astralis, is to actually see them go for, or have, let's say, a wall of smokes play with the NIP Molotov for A. That would be really cool to see them pull that off, just to test the defense on A and how well Astralis can hold that. Because some teams, that it's a hard set piece to defend against if it's executed correctly. So that's something I would like to see FaZe do that they have yet to do. But beyond that, it's FaZe have just been, they're being outplayed right now, stylistically.
Well, let's see if they can get themselves back into things. Most of the FaZe clan spawns towards the A area. Don't know if they'll feel like they're good enough to go for an early play, but there we go. Karrigan and kioShiMa charging straight through, flashbangs all over the place, and aizy immediately into the ramp, and Astralis have immediately abandoned. It's like a Mirage style play from FaZe. Look how forward he is already on short.
I love the fast timings of short. Look at the response here from the CTs. They have to give up long, but Allu's in such a forward position already. This is a beautifully constructed round in that sense. Where do Astralis go? They're bunched up on the site. They can't take good positions here. FaZe have set themselves up to have better engagements, but they have to actually get the kills now. So let's see if they can do that. Look at this. They have to push forwards. Astralis have to push forwards.
Oh my God!
My goodness gracious me. Glaive is going absolutely nuts. 3 players still standing for Astralis. What a defense.
Oh.
What?
Oh my God, Device stuck in CT spawn. That was ridiculous. aizy separate kills as well. I thought it might have been 1 bullet. This round is completely insane. Very exposed plant. aizy, does he try and cross? He's got 25 HP, but the smoke is down, so he's good. Device, what approach does he take? This is ridiculous. He's picked up the AK, and he's just biding his time in the smoke. He didn't get up there fast enough to see aizy cross, it seems. And again, the plant is completely exposed. And Device has the wrong read on the entire situation, so he may get taken down, but aizy's not holding the angle. What if there's a smoke grenade for Device to pick up? It doesn't seem so. He's running out of time as well, and there's no way that aizy could lose this round. There it is.
God, what a crazy... That's one of the most explosive rounds I think I've seen in recent memory. That is just... There's just so much going on here.
It's bonkers. A bonkers round. Device with monstrous frags there, but look at this. Look at these 2 kills from aizy.
What even happened? We can't even see what happened there. That is unbelievable.
Oh man!
But if that's what it takes for them to win a round, that's a pretty. I mean, it's hard to replicate.
Despite that, kioShiMa's on a pistol. It's madness. And indeed, they've lost their round, lost bonus now. So, if that's what it takes, then
it's definitely a very, very hard place to come back from. Even though they've won the round, they have to convert. Otherwise, they are completely screwed. And Astralis, they've been doing so well, just holding passively. They've been responding so well. Like that round, they FaZe did so well to constrict their options and prevent them from having good engagements, but they still managed to make it work with their backs against the wall. That level of calm and experience from Astralis is great to see, but now it's back to B for FaZe.
dupreeh spots a lot of players. Flashbang comes in, but it won't work out. Second flash comes in, but Kjærbye's not in a position to capitalize, and they need more grenades. There's a good one. That is doing huge damage! Kjærbye now, 2-man spread out surely. Can it be a third? Allu completely blinded. Pre-fire's coming in, down to the pistol, and it won't be enough, but it's an instant trade from Device, and now FaZe are really up the creek with no paddle. Their money's going to be down in the doldrums, 8-1. This is, we could see a 12-1 scoreline the way things are going.
Yeah, you can see in that area, that space, that Astralis did it really well to obviously get some delay in as the push was coming in, but also getting all the bodies there in time. They really read that play. Again, Astralis just a step ahead, and as noted, yeah, the money is not in a good place for FaZe. It's hard to see them bringing it back from this position even, in this first half that is. Obviously, who knows what will happen in the next half, but it does seem like maybe Device has learned his lesson not to challenge Rain with he's got the scout in hand. No more running up mid and getting yourself into dodgy situations.
Zipex moving towards a short position, maybe trying to see if the T's are trying to get close to middle doors from lower tunnel. And the kills will come raining in. Scout still in play. Oh man, that's not good. Can he get second one? That's the question. No, he will be denied. Allu, last man standing. P250, got a bomb for now, but there he goes. 9-1 for Astralis. Let's have a look and see what the money's like for the T's.
I feel like we're seeing really good coordination and team play from Astralis, like very good team awareness of where your teammate is and what he just did, because they're playing off of each other so well. So many cool crossfires and like capitalizing on, I'll distract this group of enemies, they'll be looking at me, then you're in the off angle as I disappear and all this kind of stuff. Very cool from Astralis so far.
So the T's moving up short. Zipex has got a lot of sound cues for his side. Got to be careful though. Some awkward engagement, and again Device alone on the site. P250 coming out, doing great work of it. Avoid those Molotovs, and Astralis are good. 10-1, and now we'll see FaZe back on the bye.
Such a strong performance here from Astralis. It's so awesome to see a team playing so wholly well. And with allu on the AWP, there is always going to be some hope. Didn't find anything on the cross, a little bit too early on that one. The grenade used by Astralis to cover the approach, and look at that. Allu's in position. He's looking for the fast timing from Device. And that is one of those frags that maybe that is knowing their opponent very well. Maybe that is a bit of karrigan saying, look for this angle, allu, against Device.
Yeah, but the only way you can see short from T-spawn is from the suicide position, so it's very rarely that you see a play there, but indeed, playing on the aggression of Device, perhaps FaZe have themselves an early advantage, but they are 9 rounds behind. They need a lot more than advantages at this point. Only 4 rounds to play for in this half. They will need many of them. Zipex, oh, the pre-fire was so close with the Molotov. 1 minute remains for FaZe to make their play.
Yeah, they got Catwalk now, and again, as I said previously, they haven't really run any set pieces onto the A-bomb site just yet, but they are set up to do so with all the players in these positions. They might actually be going for it. Yeah, it looks like we're going to finally see it. Zipex will see the smoke go across. He goes forward for the off angle, picks up some damage. There's the follow-up frag, but he is killed in the end. He did some good delay there, and he managed to get not only a kill, but some critical damage onto karrigan. Can Astralis, the rest of them, capitalize? Looks like dupreeh gets in there. That's karrigan gone.
kioShiMa was just standing top mid that entire time, but Glaive pushed through Long to pick him off. So still control of Long, and that's going to take allu over towards short, leaving aizy on his own in a site. He's got to be careful of ramp and also the long area. You can see he's holding a nice angle onto Glaive. He'll hear the footsteps coming in. There's a nice easy tap for him. In the meantime, allu will take down dupreeh. That leaves Glaive alone, and allu will finish him off as well. Another round in the bag for FaZe Clan. Looking at the money on the Astralis, they will have no issue buying once again.
Yeah, certainly not. They've had so much success. It's not as amazing as it could be, but it's definitely quite significant, and it's going to pose quite the problem for FaZe. They're going to have to work so hard for all of these rounds. Rain is on a UMP, and that's never a nice thing to be stuck on. And aizy goes for a very fast play for some control of maybe a pick. He's straight in there against Glaive, actually. Glaive is going to win that battle, as he has been often today, over by A-Long. And that's going to be a bad start here for FaZe. Perhaps a bit of desperation to get things going early, but B push, is it going to work? There's Rain with the entry.
Got more to hold down dupreeh, but he can only get the 1 kill, so we've got a retake situation coming in. karrigan with a great angle, takes Zipex out immediately. Now got another 1 versus 1, but Device will be better on this occasion. 2 Ts in the site. Got a few grenades for these CTs. That's a nice close one onto Rain, and he's quite low already, so he's got to be careful. Just making the door, the Molotov towards the window, the usual stuff. There's another molly from Rain as well, so Astralis are going to have to wait a little while. They've got 2 flashbangs to work with. Sorry, 1 flashbang to work with. And they've got some smokes that can split up this defense. And here it comes to charge. Who will it favour though? Got the pre-fire coming in from Glaive. That's a nice shot though, but indeed the trades will favour FaZe. Allu, last man standing.
Almost thought Glaive was going to get it done there. I love the pre-firing onto the Xbox or over the double stack. Really cool stuff from Glaive. But indeed, it was not to be for Astralis. 10-3 now the score line. Astralis still with a massive advantage. Can FaZe make it respectable? I mean, 5 rounds is perfectly workable. 3 rounds on the other hand, not so good. Now, a slow approach from FaZe, running the defaults. Oh, Device goes into middle. He's been quite mobile. And Zipex now with the pressure on Catwalk instead of Device. And he's going to find karrigan. And perhaps karrigan wanted to push there because he felt like Device wouldn't be there after seeing him take the frag in middle. Good stuff from Astralis with just playing so dynamically.
I love this game that Astralis and, allu and Device are playing. Oh, Glaive, he could spot the bomb carrier, but it's just gone past the angle, has kioShiMa. But indeed, he may be in for a nasty surprise. And this could just crushed around, does the 180 just in time, but can't get the kill. And that's the bomb on the wrong side of that corner. aizy looking for another 2 headshots, finds the first one, getting tagged through, and dupreeh will hold that down, leaving Rain alone. They know where he has to go because of the bomb, but he has time on the clock. But look at this positioning. Glaive finds himself in suicide, and Rain's getting shot from elsewhere. Surely Glaive can finish this one off. Indeed, he can. 11-3.
That's a kind of like a really delayed peak in mid from Device. That you can see how well that kind of chain reaction of events after that. After losing a man, karrigan pushes Catwalker, loses that battle. That allows Glaive the space to go aggressive with higher chance of success on long. There's all these little plays just compounding into success for Astralis. They're playing this quite well indeed. And now it's just an AK on allu and a bunch of, well, a couple of Eagles, PZ50. Hard to make that work on this map, I have to say. But they are looking for the long take, so maybe that can work out for them. Glaive is the only man there just at the moment. And there's a pop flash from Rain. Ready? Glaive will be close. Here they come. Oh, there's one. He knows he's in trouble though. Crossing is not going to be too easy. He has to commit for the fights. Couple kills. The third one comes in, and Glaive has more than done his fair share.
What a beast. Zipex, he can just admire the scenery there for the time being. No Molotovs to force him out from his position. And he has a player there for support now. He's made his way out. There goes aizy. So it's kioShiMa who's picked up the AK. Versus 3 players. Left the bomb behind him towards blue, actually. So we'll see if he can win by elimination for the time being. There is a flank coming in. Going for the pre-fire. dupreeh running out of bullets. Perfect timing from Zipex. 12-3. A monstrous half for Astralis.
It's hard to come back from that one, but it wasn't just the fact that it's a dominating scoreline to come back from. It's just the way that Astralis are playing. They look really, really good at the moment. Glaive has just been better and better individually across, since the beginning of his tenure with Astralis, and he's been holding down. He's been anchoring A long like a beast. He's also shown a good deal of versatility. If long gets taken away, he's able to play Catwalk if they're not fighting for it. So just generally across the board, good stuff from Astralis and FaZe. They're going to have a lot of action on their hands over at long.
4, make it 5 T players charging their way in, but they don't have the range advantage. We've seen a few plays on the pistol round from the T's towards long, but will they commit to the push up towards A? They don't have any map control elsewhere, so one would say yes, but again, this range favours FaZe, and they're in position to potentially go for at least a 2-man peek. May not want to commit the third person because they don't know what mid is like, so kioShiMa going towards the short, but the rest of them charging in. The numbers game working out so far for the T's. allu can't get anything done either. Problems for FaZe.
Massive problems for FaZe. Massive, in fact. FaZe have 3 players left in out of position. The bomb's about to go down. aizy's somewhat in no man's land at this point with the USP. 2 angles to look. He has to go for the 180s. This is just too impossible. Oh man, crushed Astralis. I did wonder with the positioning that FaZe had on that approach, how well it would go for Astralis. Because as you say, that feels intimidating with the Glock versus the USP. But they made that work.
Welcome to Force Fire territory, FaZe. Every single round. Astralis now with humongous advantages. 3 rounds away from a magnificent Dust 2. See if they can do it. karrigan and aizy towards the B bomb site. Rain and kioShiMa towards long. allu on A on his own for the time being. FaZe will probably be active, or at least try to be, with these pistols. Will they be allowed to be? Is the question.
Patient play for the anti-eco, and one would expect them to actually, like after the kind of delayed start, clearing out all these positions, eventually to come back for the long play together or the B play. We'll have to see what they choose to go for. Obviously, short is a good vantage point to operate from as well, but there's a lot of headshot angles that the CTs can play from. You get less headshot angles to deal with, but the Molotov will help. Molotovs do help against that. Remove some of the positions, the more annoying ones. FaZe could get some damage done here. This is definitely something that could go very wrong for Astralis if they don't cross all their T's and dot all their I's.
Off angles being played by Rain. kioShiMa and a Goose. The clock's ticking on Astralis, and that's a worrying thing.
Yeah,
it's a worrying thing when you're on an anti-force buy. You're heading towards the site with sub 30 seconds on the clock. Astralis have given us little reason to doubt us, but just the way these things go, so far so good. Rain getting picked off. Ali just with USP pulls something out at the wrong time. They've got kioShiMa emerging now, and that bomb's going to get planted, so perhaps this will be okay for us. But it's still, never mind. aizy's gone down to the scouts, of course. Leaving karrigan alone, and there's only so much he can do. 2 kills for aizy in that round, but that's not going to be enough. They need every round.
Man, this is what do you say about that one? 14-3, Astralis. Oh, triple scout. Okay, alrighty then. Rain, allu, and aizy fancy their chances. To be honest, I wouldn't be too surprised if they win this round with triple scout. Who knows? They have the players to do it, and there is one tag onto Glaive already.
Never doubt, triple scouts.
Ooh.
kioShiMa backing off from the long position with a deagle. 2 players of 5 have Kevlar. They're all searching. Search and destroy. It's a 3-man army. It's a pack. Pack of wolves armed with scouts as opposed to sharp teeth. Astralis playing the long game once again. The slow game probably favours them. Nice pop flash towards a short position to allow the players to emerge from the lower area. But kioShiMa's back. He's hungry. He's searching for something. He's desperate.
Doesn't find though. And he's got 19 HP now after that little expedition. Speaking of expeditions, Device is going to find himself a kill and a lot of tagging. Look at the health on these remaining players for FaZe. They are super low. And now they're all super dead. Just kioShiMa left. And he definitely doesn't have all that much opportunity to do anything here in this position. So should be 15-3 now for Astralis. And FaZe, they have a 3-round loss bonus coming in. That's going to be $2,400 all around. But as you can see, they didn't have anything left in the bank to begin with. So that's going to be more pistols, more Kevlar, and likely more defeats.
Just the 1 scout on this occasion. Rain will be wielding that. So, yes, it may be death by paper cuts. But there's always a chance. The B-bomb site has been abandoned by FaZe. karrigan and aizy stacking over the smoke. dupreeh is looking for information, and he should surely realize that there aren't many people there, but perhaps that entrance will scare him off. Opportunities have come and gone. Rain and allu towards a short position, looking for close quarters engagements. Hot flash into middle, but Kjærbye will not commit. Double peek coming in, but still no kills.
Yeah, it's MacGyver mode all the time here for FaZe. Rain, boom! But that's not going to do the kill. That's not going to do the damage for the frag, actually. And as Kjærbye will be able to get himself up there onto the stairs and deliver the finishing blows. But wrenching the work there, thanks to the 5-7. But it's just all too little. aizy's always very scary, though. Run through the smoke, that's not going to help. And speaking of hope, it's all gone. It's all but gone now, James. There's nothing left. 16-3.
It has been... Well, the game has reached its conclusion. 16-3. That is a very dominating scoreline indeed, and that's crushing for FaZe. So, if we thought there was some kind of rivalry, it looks like FaZe has been spanked on this occasion. So, yeah, nothing but brutality coming from Astralis. I don't know how much there is to say about that match.
Well, I think it's all about Astralis, of course. I mean, they played so well. I mean, just all the pieces fit together for them. They were able to, mix things up. They were able to play aggressively, but they were also able to play to give away positions and play more passively, and then force FaZe to then have to make the big plays. And then FaZe could never quite get the openers they needed when they were up against that. And then when they were going aggression against aggression, they also weren't trading well enough. So you could just see that Astralis, just in every single situation, it feels like they had the edges. They just played better. And what's always cool to me isn't seeing good performances from Glaive. And he definitely performed well today.
Yeah, at the end of the first half, I think he had 20 kills and ZipX had 21 kills. So that was a pretty nice performance from them. Probably time to hear the thoughts of the desk, I believe.
And welcome back to the Anas area as well. A very, very comprehensive victory, gents.
I was wrong,
Paul. Well, I'll admit it. Robin, I didn't want to say anything at this point. Tommy,
yeah.
You know, I'm just going to gloss over that. You've been away for a while. You're obviously a bit of a noob at this stuff, and that's fine. It's okay. We love you anyway, so you get away with it. You get a pass.
Thank you.
Just don't let it happen again, because that's really what we can stand
honestly, for. If you picture how this game would have turned out without even me saying anything, you would expect this game to be one heck of a game.
Yeah. Well, we would hope that as well,
yes,
wouldn't you? Knowing that they both know each other a little bit and they've got all this data, all that stuff we talked about beforehand, actually just went out the window, Tommy, didn't it? And Astralis just turn up, turn the turbo boost on, cruise through.
Yeah, I mean, Astralis basically did what they do on their CT sides. They just play very aggressive all around the map where they don't let the Ts get map controls. That's what we were talking about with Robin in the trailer, is they basically play sort of aggressive on catwalk where they never let the terrorists just walk up catwalk and claim it and then just run whatever they want. So FaZe never really got map control. When they try to go for it, they usually got picked apart. And I mean, I think one thing that always is a bit of a factor that we also talked about in the back is FaZe really had to sort of just go from one match, take 5, 10, 15 minutes and then go for the other game. I think it's always a little helpful if you get a little longer break to sort of just
different teams though
decompress.
React different ways though, Tommy, don't they? I mean, some teams are bad at that because
no,
they don't.
Yeah. I mean,
other teams like to carry on.
I think it can be very individual. Like some
Yeah.
people just like the game. I think it's probably more so for the people who like to actively think about the game. You know, like try to figure out the game afterwards. What happened? What went wrong? What went right? And then build on that. For like the pure fraggers, probably you just want a game.
Maybe, yeah. We used to call that back in the day. I don't know if you remember this. That kind of aggressive cat control used to be called doing a Harryman.
I do not remember that.
Do you not remember that?
I played against
See, he's
Harryman
too young.
before,
He's too young.
No, I played against Harryman. I did. But one thing to note as well, yes, Astralis had an amazing CT side. They worked together even when FaZe was trying to hit bomb sites. They ended up losing an entry into the bomb site, but then you had the insta backup coming in. ZipX played amazing. But I feel like for FaZe as well, they played extremely scared. Like not only, you can play passive in the beginning, try and go for picks, but once the executes come in, you have to go in. You saw again and again where they get the initial pick or they get that flash, they're supposed to go in. If you end up staying in chokeholds, what's going to happen? You're not going to be able to move from there. And we saw almost every single B execute they had, except for the one round that they won. They got locked into just the tunnel. They didn't even get out. The long last round of their T side as well. They had a great flash towards Glaive on long. Glaive was lucky, he got a frag. Then they end up getting stuck in the container. There's no pushback. It's like, you flash in because you're supposed to explode onto and get some control, but instead you go out, you explode, and you just stand there, you're stationed. It's like one flash from Astralis, and there you go. You just end up losing man after man after man, and you end up losing. The only round that I would say had somewhat of an impact, and that's a hero play from aizy. I think we have a clip on that. I'm not sure.
Yeah, we're going to have look at some of the replays anyway, so we'll roll those just now, and we'll carry on talking anyway. But yes.
But here we go. Yeah, that's it. I mean, with FaZe's lineup, this is somewhat. These are the rounds that you would be expecting from FaZe individual players a little bit more, but you can't always rely on that, right? Like this, I mean, Device was a little bit unlucky. He was going to back up, so he never even saw the aizy jumped over to long. Great plant by him as well, and it was once that one-on-one hit, if aizy lost that, it would have been bad on him, right? But like individual performance like that will not always happen, and you need something to fall back on, like we were talking about. Like, so if the individual players doesn't work, then karrigan is supposed to be there to come up with something and work together and execute on a site.
I don't want to be too mean, Tommy, and you can carry on being as mean as you like, obviously. Was that a little bit of a backward step for FaZe? Isn't that like what we saw a few months ago when they were kind of...
I mean, sort of. It definitely reminds
style,
you... it reminds you more of what they used to be before this recent upswing in their game. I think they just look hesitant, like Robin said. They didn't really... didn't really have a game plan, it seemed. They started doing things, and then one thing, like maybe a smoke comes in, oh, never mind, you're not actually going to go there, maybe we'll figure something else out. And they played really slow, like you said. They were super late going to the bomb sites. Many of these rounds were just 15 seconds on the clock. I think allu saved his op twice in like almost winnable rounds where he could have gone for it, could have made a play, but there was just no time left.
Yeah,
and
almost went full flip side.
I mean, Astralis just played great. I mean, that's all you can really,
I was going to
really
say, do you feel like it's more that actually Astralis did play very well rather than FaZe played badly in that game?
Well, I mean, it's always a bit of a combination. Like, if you have two relatively even teams, you can't win 16-3 by just playing amazing. Like, that just doesn't happen. You can't go that far up on the scale. You need the other team to sort of not meet you halfway, but go the equal distance the other.
I feel like the hesitant play from FaZe also has, we were talking about like the fact that karrigan, you know, it's his old team, he somewhat knows how they play. I feel like the hesitant play actually has maybe some impact on that, whereas like probably karrigan, oh yeah, guys, they like to flash in, just watch out for the flash, and then we wait for them and we kill them, and then we have an easy bomb start, right? You saw that it's actually looked like that kind of approach instead of, you know, yeah, you think you might know what they're doing, you have an idea, and I mean, that's what happened. They were flashing in, they were taking the duels, but
then something got mixed up in that, and then that caught them out.
Just passed, so I think ideally, in a perfect world, if the karrigan maybe would have had more time with FaZe and maybe Astralis a little bit more, the passive play could definitely work out if you actually have like a solid game plan. But if you come in right before the game and be like, okay, play passive, wait for the flash, and then we're just gonna kill them and we'll run in. It's like, yeah, will probably not work out. But Astralis, like I said, Astralis, I think that with the Glaive audition, Astralis has been looking extremely good. I haven't seen Astralis play this well in a very long time. Last year, when they started winning some tournaments, that's over a year ago. So it's I think it's really fun to watch.
Yeah, no, it was fun to watch. Tommy, your final thoughts on the game and on the group itself? Do you feel like it's going the way maybe we thought it would go?
Well, I mean, I thought Astralis was the clear favorite to win the group. I mean, obviously all these teams are close enough, and you know, Optic beat Astralis last week in the grand final of all places. So, I mean, it could have gone, another team could have won, but Astralis was the favorite. So that we sort of saw what we thought would happen play out. Now we get a rematch of the elimination game of DreamHack winner. We got Cloud9 Optic, and then potentially we get Optic against FaZe, which I think would be the really interesting rematch after E-League.
Yeah, very interesting indeed. Thank you very much to both of you. We are headed towards a break, of course, right now, and when we come back, we'll be headed into Group B. That's right, the double major champions will be in there, and more in action from them. That's Group A done for today. Of course, the lower bracket will continue tomorrow, but as I said, we'll focus the rest of the day on Group B. Don't go too far away, we'll be right back.